Hi there, good evening and welcome to this evening's Facebook Live. My name is Neil Atkinson, Senior Creative Director for Mahogany. Let's introduce Paul Jameson, who is cutting hair for us this evening.
Afternoon everyone.
Okay, we've got the usual suspects of the team. So Anthony is going to be fielding questions. So any questions you've got, please keep them coming. It's the whole point of these interactive educational evenings that, you know, you're kind of in with us. We're here for any questions, answering questions, anything related to this, related to anything else that we do within the industry. So that's all cool. Anthony's going to be fielding those and handing over the questions. We have Ollie, who's looking after our Instagram Live as well, so you can access it via that as well, and Colin on the camera. So, Paul.
All right.
Good evening, sir.
Thanks, Neil. So, for this evening's Facebook Live, what I'm going to be doing is quite a classic shape within the sort of basic sort of shape parameter, and then I'm going to be loosening that shape up within the refinement to something more sort of salon contemporary. So, in the interest of time, what I've done with Ellie's hair, if I spin her around this way, I've completed the basic shape on one side. So we've got a very fitted, graduated shape in the nape, working into a little bit more length through the front hairline. I'm going to mirror this on the other side using diagonal sections. So if I spin it back round so Colin can see cutting line. So using diagonal sections, bring everything back onto the previous, building up that little bit of weight. So what I really wanted to showcase for you tonight was how a classic shape can be really enhanced and sort of tailored into a completely different sort of shape in sort of post-production, so to speak, within the sort of refinement. So everything back into the previous, building up that little bit of shape.
Anybody who knows me, Paul, from years of being in education knows that that's something that I'm kind of very passionate about, and I have always sort of banged on about this, you know, about in our industry the importance of having that classical foundation to work that then enables you to move on into the creative, and I think that's really, really key. You know, within Mahogany we have our very structured training. It's very disciplined, it's very it's very layered out, and it works in that way. For that reason, so that we have our 7 classics that we teach to begin with, which lay down the 7 kind of classics to cutting hair. Obviously we mirror that within colour as well. But I think it's important, Paul, though, that foundation is often overlooked. You can't move further without it.
100% Neil. So it's sort of, having that sort of core is basically what's going to stop you from sort of losing your way balance-wise. I find a lot of the time if someone, because we, you know, within education we get a lot of people who sort of come to us at sort of varying stages in their career, varying sort of experience levels. And what you'll sort of find a lot of the time is sort of people want to do more. They feel like they need to throw everything in there, rather than just sort of having a main sort of focal point, which is sort of the biggest feature of the haircut, and then sort of paring everything down around it to sort of draw the eye to that point. So within the training, it's very much a sort of structured, disciplined, classical sort of approach until towards the end of the training, and then once we're happy that the trainee or student has that sort of base, we then sort of expand on it. And something like this would be a good starting point for that, because you're still working a very classical shape, you know, timeless sort of graduated bob. But what I'm hoping that you guys will see tonight is how the sort of shape can be tailored into a much more sort of contemporary feeling.
So Neil, Aviv from Israel says hello.
Oh, good evening. How are you? Good, whatever time it is in Israel, I don't know, but hello Aviv, thanks for tuning in. That's great to hear from you. So Paul, we're working vertically.
Yeah, well, we're working diagonally. Because we are wanting to build up a little bit of weight, rather than if we were going vertically, we might sort of flatten down just a touch too much. I prefer to work diagonally, just sort of fit it into the nape, because we're working very fitted. through that nape area, and then sort of expanding into a slightly A-line feel, so the hair's dropping longer towards the jawline. Now the way I'm creating that is by over-directing the hair. So as I come through to the front, you can see I'm now starting to bring this hair back towards the crown area to build up weight and length.
I think, again, that is something really important to touch on at this point in what is really at the minute quite a classical shape, is that understanding of technique, isn't it? Of the, you know, the beauty of education and the beauty of having a wide understanding of how to cut hair is that you can do a haircut anyway. You could start this haircut from the front perhaps, you could work backwards, you could start it internally, you could start on the outline, you could